But here we go. Second Henselt. This is something he's not going to expect. But when he sees it, he'll know. Land of 1,000 Fables. Is it just a meme? Yeah, kind of is. But this is still pretty good. Not going to lie. 2 Henselts is pretty good. If we got a Draug, it would have been even better. Because we have 2 PFIs in our hand. We've had so many Revenants. But as it is, we're just going to overwhelm him with Henselt. And second Henselt, I don't think he can come back from this. Look at the point differential. And Henselt's just going to get even more as time goes on. Today we're going to be playing this deck, which I'm going to call the Thousand Siege. And the reason why is because we're playing Land of 1,000 Fables in Siege. This is obviously more of a meme deck, but I think it might be good enough to actually win. And here's the idea. I had thought of this when we did the card discussion on Land of 1,000 Fables the other day. Is that if you go to Northern Realms for a second here, and you have Amphibious Assault, it's Echo card. Echo card is one of the few ways you can gain value off Land of 1,000 Fables. You play the Echo once, and then you transform the Echo card. And Northern Realms is one of the few factions that has high provision special with a small number of impactful high provision units. In this case, we have Henselt and Draug, which are 13s. Idea being for this deck is we play like a sort of a normal siege deck with Stockpile, and then we go into Land of 1,000 Fables to either pull out a special card, to pull out a special card, and then we transform the second Amphibious Assault into Henselt or Draug. Henselt, you do this early because you can see what the card is. And then you can see that you have Henselt, which is fantastic for sieges. If you could play a second Henselt, I would. It's so good. And then you go, sometimes you get Draug, and then we're playing extra soldiers and frigates. So maybe we can transform into a bunch of Revenants. That's the idea. I don't think this is far from the strongest deck, but it probably will work out well enough, I think, because Siege is good. So, yeah, that's the main combo. Land of 1,000 Fables, transform the Amphibious Assault second time into the fantastic card of Draug or Henselt, whichever one you need, and then you build your round 2 or 3, whichever one you want to use it in, around that, and that can be really good. The other card to mention here is we're running Heatwave. Since we're playing non-devotion, we don't have to worry about, well, I was running King Belohun in Siege. He's really good in Siege, but his devotion's really kind of a big factor in that. And then we have the Character Marines we cut too, because we don't have devotion. But since we didn't have devotion, I threw in Heatwave, because everyone expects Siege to not have Heatwave. And maybe we can catch a couple people off guard with this and win a game like that. And when Land of 1,000 Fables can actually tutor it out too, which is nice. And then we are doing the Farfard's Vengeance here. We're going to trigger its Zeal with the, what's it called? Siege supports if possible. And yeah, we have the PFIs here for more soldiers. And it's also kind of interesting because they can give you a bunch of dudes for crew too. I want to try that out. But yeah, this is the deck. Let's see how it does. Hopefully we can get some cool plays with Land of 1,000 Fables. Alright, let's find our first game here. Our worst matchups are probably Assimilate, because they can potentially make your scenario a couple times, and then they get Illusionist all your engines. And other than that, maybe like a Hyper Control deck with Madoc might be bad. But here we have Frost. Frost is interesting. They have a lot of movement, which can mess with the crew setups, and our Caro Blisters want to be ranged. But other than that, it shouldn't be too bad. I think we have a decent shot at this one. But we don't have a good Heatwave target, which is a little annoying. So they don't really go tall, unless they're playing the Ozrel version with old Spear Tip. I haven't seen that one lately, though. Oh, if he's going to do this, we potentially could go for an early Fultus Pride. I like that idea. We try pushing him here. This is actually my first game with Siege after the... I think this is the first game with Siege after the changes to the Siege Master. After the last patch, that is. Yeah, I think it is. Alright, we want to put our Fultus Pride next to Odrin, and then we can get the Krug for the double abilities. And then the Siege Master... Oh, I forgot. Siege Master comes out to the left now instead of the right. Well... We'll just hold off on this order. Guys, read the patch notes. I read that and I completely forgot about it. I haven't played Siege in a while. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll work with it. We'll work with it. Okay, so we'll just go on Famous Assault. We want to set up a Zeal for Farfard's Vengeance anyway, so let's go Siege Support. I say that, but we don't actually have Rafard's Vengeance in our hand. Just theoretically, usually want to get this guy out for Rafard's Vengeance if you're holding him. And we'll do this. We'll cool down 1 here. And that should get us a lot of engine value going. We do have the winch coming up. We can go for more of our siege engines. He might move the Voltus Pride. Usually White Frost uses a leader ability round 1 to try and win uneven. However, in this case, he can't do that because we're the ones pushing him. I don't think it's a situation he wants to be in. Getting a little bit of engine value there. We'll fire our Voltus Pride again. Let's just say these are value. We could remove the engines in the range show and work on killing them. But let's just play Caro Ballista. He's going to move this for sure. We could have given it Zeal. But I think I'd rather give Zeal to the Carrick Frigate. Which we are going to play this round. Just because the damage isn't super valuable here because we can't use it to kill anything. It'd be much better if we can combine it with damage from Voltus Pride with a winch next turn. So Caro Ballista fires, we winch the Caro Ballista. That fires, if Voltus Pride fires, gives access to 6 damage. If we hold on to that Caro Ballista order, and we can use that burst to kill one of his crew, if it lives, which, again, it probably won't, but it's worth trying to save for that, I think. We get a leader ability out of him. It's not too bad. He will get his Winter Queen. There's the movement. Denies us our crew. We could go PFI. We could go Frigate. Wouldn't be too bad. There's the Winter Queen. We could also pass. 17's quite a bit. Voltus Pride's really strong, though. And usually you don't want to give White Frost the tempo. Or round control, that is. We could use a leader charge, maybe. We don't have to win on even at this point. Let's just go with this. It'll give us our crew back. And with Voltus Pride active, we don't need too much tempo to kind of keep up here. Because it's 4 damage when we click it. Alright, well he kills it, so that'll be it here then. No Voltus Pride means we're out of this round. So we used Voltus Pride and Odrin. He used Winter Queen, Ardgaith. And we also used our first Amphibious Assault charge. Probably favors him overall, although he did use a leader charge. Probably favors him right now, but not by much. Not by much. We do need to draw Siege still. A note about the deck here. I cut the Cintran Envoys, which are usually how you set your deck up and ensure you get your Siege. I cut them for the PFIs to try and get a potential Draug on a bunch of soldiers without having to rely on the Carrick Frigates. I'm not sure that's the best choice, but I thought it'd be pretty fun, so that's what we went with. You guys might notice I tend to try and favor these fun combos over like the top tier absolute best decks. And you know what? That's fine, because I like the game better that way. If you guys like the game with the absolute top tier decks, good for you. Play whatever you want. But here, I think it's more fun to make videos about this kind of stuff. Okay, so we do have Siege. If we go Amphibious Assault, we can't transform with Land of 1,000 Fables, which is honestly not too bad of a thing, but it's kind of the point of the videos we want to use Land of 1,000 Fables, so we'll try and get a transform with it. Frigate here, we can go PFI, then trigger it. We can go Henselt, then trigger it. And all those seem good. We can maybe try and get a card advantage here, although it will be difficult while he's playing White Frost. There's some good tempo plays. And there's the Aridin. So to keep up, I think we either need Henselt or Siege. And in this case, we're going to go... We want a Henselt for Rafard's Vengeance, right? So we do want that Zeal set up, which means we go Siege Support. Let's put it here for the crew. Get that one cooldown on our guy. Ends up being the same as if we use the order first, or use the warfare first, then trigger the order with crew. Yeah, he will move it, so he's going to go Ardgaith probably then. Grant that Frost stacking, go for a long round. Yep, there it is. We did steal Dominance for a turn there, which was kind of cool. But I think we go for the Rafard's Vengeance now. Henselt, pull that out. We've got the Zeal, and this should get us ahead. Trigger this. We do have several cards we can use this for. And this is basically the setup. Let's go with the PFIs. If we can save some siege engines for our siege round, that would be required. It's kind of the name. You can draw into some more, but okay, he will kill Henselt. If you want to avoid, if you think the opponent has a 4 damage card and you want to avoid Henselt dying, just trigger a leader charge on his row. I didn't think he had a second one of those, but he did. Let's just boost this with the cooldown. And then, actually, we can go for a leader charge here. Because I really want him to leave. Let's go with a leader charge. And that'll let us use our Fire's Vengeance and our Frigate again right now. And that tempo should just force him out here. We'll play the second Frigate here. And he should leave. If he doesn't, we have the Siege Tower we can play next turn. It's not bad. He's going to go Griffin. Okay, so he's just setting up Mamuna. We want to play the lowest tempo card we have then. And we'll throw this out here. And that will be 16. Up by 16. He's not going to play any more cards here. That Griffin play means he's passing. Overall, not bad. We actually up a card, and we still have 2 leader charges, and he doesn't have any. So that's nice. We could potentially go for like a 6 damage once we have both of the reinforced ballistas out. That'd be pretty good. There is John. Got our winch. Oh, we have Land of 1,000 Fables. Land of 1,000 Fables. And we do have Heatwave in our deck still, so we'll play Heatwave with that as our finisher. That's pretty nice. Kind of like that. We'll go Siege. And then we'll try and put all of our Siege engines into the ranged row, and then cool down them with the stockpile. I should mention here, if you have... There's only 5 turns here, or 5 cards we want to play. If this round was longer, you want to play Siege in the melee row, so that when it spawns the guy in the ranged row, you have room to maybe spawn an extra leader charge, because you have to be able to make the volunteer in order to trigger the cooldown reduction. But here I'm not concerned, because he does movement, and he has damage, and, you know, we don't have that many cards in hand. It is something to point out, though. While we're waiting here, guys, if you like these videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Oh, and there's an opponent lost connection, right, as we're saying this. Perfect. Yeah, so if you like the videos, subscribe to the channel. Quite a bit of fun making these, and if you guys like these more, less pure competitive decks, more fun like meme decks, let me know for sure, because I'll make more of them if this is what you guys like. Because it's pretty fun to mix these guys in. That being said, I don't think this deck's too bad. As you can see, we're in a pretty winning position here. And, oh, he's going to come back. I'm not really sure what he's going to accomplish by coming back, but he's going to keep playing. Respect it. Respect it. Maybe he wants to see what we're playing. He's going to be so I really want this game to go to the last turn, just to, like, see if he has some kind of reaction to our finisher being Land of 1,000 Fables Heatwave. Because that's pretty funny. No one does that. At least no one I've seen. But we're going to do it. So why not? Okay, there's Oberon. He did still have that. There's the movement. So we'll see what he chooses. Okay. He wants more frost damage, I guess. The trebuchet would die. And then he wouldn't get frost damage. But this way, with the ballista lives. I think maybe getting rid of the trebuchet might have been the better choice. It's hard to say, though. We'll remove Oberon. And it's looking pretty good here for us. This frost is ticking down, though. So what do we have? We essentially have 5 points right now. There's a bruiser. He does get rid of that. Okay, that makes sense with his last play, then. And we still have 2 reinforced ballistas. I think we just play our winch to keep one of them alive, potentially. Like, winch is the only warfare in our deck. So we might as well play it now. Trying to think which row we're going to put the... We're going to put the, what's it called? The tower next to John. And then we could maybe we'll get the boost order. If we play it this turn, if we use leader charges. And then we finish with Land of 1,000 Fables. Should be pretty decent. What's he deciding? Oh, Gels, he get into Naglfar? Into what gold does he have left? Parry and Phantom makes sense. I kind of thought there'd be a Mamuna, honestly. He might be holding on to it for a finisher. In which case, this game will be pretty close. We'll play this here. We'll spawn this, so we get the ability for the vitality goes to a boost. Click that, click this, and then we'll cool down again. And next turn we get the boost 2 from the siege tower again. Once we get maximum number of points. If he's got Mamuna, it's 20. So that gets him 26, and we Heatwave it, and we win. Yeah, I can't wait for him to see the reaction to this. Oh, it's just Azrael. Alright, well, that's not as good as Mamuna, but interesting. We're just going to play this Land of 1,000 Fables into Heatwave because it's funny. He's going to be so confused. We played like a pretty standard deck until that. And I love the PFIs, so there you go, my friend. That's what's going on here. Alright, let's go into Game 2. No transform in Game 1. We'll try to do it here. Okay, Congregate. This might just turn into an engine fight of who has more. And if we need more, we really want Foltest Pride, which we do have. Good, good. Because he's just going to be spamming out the Fallen Knights most likely. You know, you Ulrich one, you play another one, and then you play him early, then Cyrus brings him back for round 2 and 3. You can make him off of the, what is the card where they're on a pyre? That one, you make one off of that if you do it to a token. Alright, we are going first here. The nice thing about Congregate is they really don't run control most of the time. Like, maybe you see a junior, but I think that's it. We can go into our Rafard's Vengeance here. Very safely. You know, I just said it comes out on the left last game, and I already forgot. Whatever. You'd think I would have remembered after that last game, but no, I didn't. It comes out on the left now. I got it. We're not going to forget again. Comes out on the left. Alright, whatever. We have the Siege Masters. We have Rafard's Vengeance. We can actually double Rafard's Vengeance with Winch, which is kind of funny. We'll play this Siege Tower here. And we'll put that over here next to Henselt. Trigger this. Trigger this. We don't really want the double Rafard's Vengeance, though. Because we don't have that many bronze units, right? We only have 2. 3. Pull this out. Put this over here. That's good. Because I don't want the Rafard's Vengeance to get too tall. Because if we winch it right now, it gets really big. And then sometimes their removal, they do run the one more release for the Tribute Destroyer unit. And we've committed too much here to really lose on tempo. We really want this round at this point. Let's go John. Let's see. I think we do winch, but I think it's going to be Caro Ballista. Because if he does have a big destroy card, and sometimes these people... let's just do Rafard's Vengeance. We really should have done this last turn if this was our plan, but I think he's not going to do anything here. I'm trying to spread out our points if possible. Because I'm not really concerned about losing the round anymore. Oh, now he throws down Ulrich. Okay, that may cost us a little bit here then. We lose, what, 3 points from not doing Caro Ballista. And then we do have, what, 2 bronze units. We can still use Foltest, or we can still use Rafard's Vengeance all of the possible times. We'll go here, reduce the cooldown on the Caro Ballista, fire it, put a little bit of damage onto this guy. Maybe we can kill him eventually. Trigger that. And we're still up by 40, so I'm not really that concerned, because 40 is a lot. We'll winch this guy here. There's no Geralt Igni. There's no Scorch in his deck. There's no way. No way. If this wasn't Congregate, I would be a little more concerned about making 2 14s, but he's not going to have it. He's not going to have it. Oh, this is what we're doing. We're making more Fallen Knights. That is something. That's something, all right. So actually, we're going to need the Foltest Pride if we want to win the round, and we do want to win this round. But our engine setup is kind of crazy. Like, no, we don't need Foltest Pride. We're up by 40 points, and then we have Land of 1,000 Fables into Heatwave, which he'll never see coming. That is 3 Fallen Knights, though. That's 4 Fallen Knights. That's a bit scary. How much space does he have left? 2 on the ranged, 5 on the melee. So we can spawn a total of 7 units, assuming we don't kill any. 7 times 4 is 28. That gets him to 79, or 69, and then he has the... What's the thing called that does boost everything? Dicer, right? Actually, he can compete with us. Let's just kill this off in case he can make more coins. And we'll use the Zeal on... not sure what. Probably nothing. 36. He's getting closer. We do have this Heatwave. We can always land up 1,000 Fables into Heatwave. Don't mind that too much. Oh, Helvete. That's really bad for us. And yeah, he's going to cut pretty close. But when I said he got 69, that was just counting the points from the Fallen Knight boost, not the actual 14 points from the 7 guys spawning. So that would be 83. We do need this here. We do need Foltest Pride. But Henselt's too big, I think. Like, I think we need the Foltest Pride, but I think Henselt's too big for him to pass us. It's going to be close, though. Interesting. We probably will have to 1,000 Fables into Heatwave this round, which is fine, because we can trade the Transform then round 2. But he's going to run out of space at, like, what? 4. There's a Dice Array. He's gotten some good top decks so far. Excommunication finding Helvete was really good. Boost there. He spawns a guy from Helvete. Not quite. Would have put him ahead. I'm not sure why I didn't use those coins. Let's see here. We will use a leader charge, because look how many things we can trigger with this. It's totally worth it. Henselt gets boosts. Vengeance plays the PFI. We play him. We trigger this. We trigger this. We go Reinforce Ballista. And we're at 100 points already. We give this Zeal, because why not? We fire another shot over here. And let's see what he does. He needs 34. He's used the Dice Array. Congregate does, or the spell Congregate, the 4 Persian 1, plays for what? 5 intimidates, and then 4 boosts, and then 6 points. So it's 15. That's a good value bronze if he has it. But he's running out of space then. You could play that range and then go Helvete. And that would give him another 6 points. Plus a 21. Gets him to 98. We're going to have to Heatwave one of these Fallen Knights, I think. A lot closer than I anticipated here. This kind of shows you what Congregate can do if you can't kill Fallen Knights. He will pass, okay. That's fine. His even push stop. The thing we have to watch out now for is Cyrus. Because Cyrus into multiple Fallen Knights is a problem, and the only way we really have to deal with that is going to be the Heatwave. Since we did cut the boiling oils to make this deck. Usually run one boiling oil here. I cut it for the Heatwave. It's our only special, so we're putting it back in the deck. Yeah, as you can kind of see here, our deck's really small. I think we push with Siege. The shorter the round 3 is, the better for us generally. But, well, generally against Congregate, that's the case. But our short round's not very good either, but it might be better than his. It depends what we can force out here. We want Cyrus gone, and one of the only ways we have to kill Cyrus is with the bombardment off of this. Okay, yeah, there. So exactly. He's going to get 2 Fallen Knights from this, but our only way to really kill these easily is with the bombardment from Siege, and then combined with this Reinforced Ballista shot, which we'll use. We'll probably use a cooldown coming up here too, but we just want to make sure we can get rid of these Fallen Knights if possible. If he does a bunch of... Like, if this card right now is Congregate, it's not going to be great. If this card spawns, it might be hard for us to get rid of these. It's probably going to spawn. Okay, Jax is a good... So we got rid of Cyrus and Jax. That's good. That's good. We're going to keep triggering the Siege here. And then I think we'll go for a Transform with Thousand Fables since we get a Henselt. Because none of these cards are really... Now we want Amphibious Assault, right? We can't transform them, though. But I think it's more valuable to get one of these cards out that actually can trigger damage. And then give us more options for our stockpile charges. Because we can stockpile all these cooldowns now. And that's better than having the Henselt in our hand if we did get it. We do still have Heatwave as an option off of the Thousand Fables. Smuggle's not great for him. I think we go with our Frigate. We can't give it crew, but we can do some cooldown stuff in this range draw. So we'll get rid of this Fallen Knight. Do a cooldown here. I would normally say this battering ram, you might not want to hit the Fallen Knight if you're going to use Heatwave, but I think his coins might have to be spent on Jocks, and then we can use the Heatwave on Jocks once he spends his coins into it. So we'll just do this. And then we can get the crew on this guy from that charge, and we should be able to get another one off of this Frigate. Okay, that's how he spends his coins. Okay. Yeah, we could Heatwave Jocks here. Let's see, we get a lot of value from this leader charge. So we do this, we get the crew, we go like this. Yeah, we get one here. I think our short round's better than his. And if we Heatwave... I'm trying to figure out what we want to Heatwave here. It's probably still Jocks. Maybe not. You're a Fallen Knight. I don't think... He can't... Usually they have trouble spawning or getting coins. We know one of his cards is Dice Array. So we can get rid of some of these tokens. That'd be pretty nice. And we're up quite a bit here. Those leader charges got us a lot of value. Wish we killed off his one guy with that. Procession of Penance. Okay, nice, we got him. Over 2 turns, that's pretty expected. And this is Dice Array, so we win, right? Yeah, Dice Array, so we win. GG. GG. Doing pretty well here. Deadeye ambush. Okay, this shouldn't be... Well, it depends. If this is the Waylay, if this is quad Waylay, we're in trouble. Because that's too strong of a control. Round 3, and I'm not sure we can force it out without wasting siege. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see what we can do. We do have the Thousand Fables. We're going to definitely transform with it this time, I think. And we can go with Thousand Fables into Heatwave on scenario if he's running a scenario deck. If he's not running a scenario deck and it's quad Waylay, it's a lot worse. But we'll try. We just hope it's a siege deck, the Vain Death deck. Because no one will ever expect you to Thousand Fables into Heatwave playing Siege. They'll never expect it. By the way, I remembered it goes on the left. I did remember that. But yeah, no one will ever expect you to pull the Heatwave out of this deck. And then sometimes they'll play more greedy scenarios. You might go for a scenario here. And you can kind of punish them with that. And the Thousand Fables tutoring out is a use of the Thousand Fables. And then maybe we could transform here. That's a bit annoying. We could fire in Winch, but then we'd have to John Talius with the Amphibious Assault or Thousand Fables into it. I think instead we'll just do a boost by 1 here. He's going to kill it with the 3 damage guy. The melee 3 damage, spawn a Deadeye, but that's okay. Honestly, we really want the Siege support to live so we can go Rafard's Vengeance. So this is kind of a bait for him. Let's see if he falls for it. He does. I'm not sure he's falling for it, but we definitely want to keep the Siege support alive so we can go Henselt into Rafard's Vengeance. That's our power play for this round 1. And he's going to let us do that. We go Henselt, we go Rafard's Vengeance. We use the Siege support to give it Zeal. We use its Order, and I think we go with a Frigate for sure. It's more valuable, I think, to have the crew on this than Henselt. No, Henselt probably is really good. Because we can put a soldier next to it. We've got Odrin. We can always Amphibious Assault out another soldier to put next to him. So I think I want the Henselt value. It does have resupply anyway. We can't put PFI next to it, though, because it swarms too much. And we won't be able to spawn volunteers. Let's see what he wants to do. Okay, so he's probably going to go with both the Bondeds. Both the Bonded... Yeah, he's probably another one. But I don't think this is a feign... Oh, he hasn't played any Waylays setup. No Vanadane. No Waylays. Like, usually they have a scenario too, don't they? I think he might be trying to be greedy. Let's trigger this frigate. And then we'll go with the amphibious assault. But I don't think it's going to be for a soldier. I think we want John. I mean, like, we don't want to. It's not going to be a soldier that goes melee or goes ranged. We want John. We want Winch. I think we'll keep this alive. At 3 damage, you can kill it pretty easily. And with those 2 warfares, we reset the frigate. Frigate's pretty good without even the crew, because that's pretty much what it used to have. I think it's decent without it. And now we can go into probably one of the bronze engines here. He needs to commit more. Ownermancy. Okay, CR, and what's he gonna lock? Vengeance? Yeah. Hitting our frigate. I think we just throw down this siege tower. Put him here. But you kind of just want to stay ahead here. If we can be in control and win on even and then go for a round 3 with siege, that's short. That's our best play here. The only issue is if he is playing Waylays, we need them out by round 3. If he has the Waylays play round 3 with some loss, I think we lose no matter what, if it's a short round, even with siege. Now we have Foltest Pride and Heatwave as gold cards left in our deck. We're using a lot of provisions here. We could throw down the second frigate here. We could go... I think we'd do that, maybe. That's not a bad idea. We could also play the PFIs as like a 4 provision card just to throw it out. We'll get Thousand Fables into Winch too. Let's do that. I don't think he's playing a scenario. If he does have it, he doesn't have it this round. So we're just going to do this reset for a bunch of points. With only 9 cards in our deck, there's a pretty good chance we draw into that Heatwave, especially by round 3. And now we have that transform for the next round. Let's see if we get Draug or Henselt, and then we try and use it. And see if we can't do a round 2 push. We're going to push hard round 2. Because like I said earlier, we can't have him having those Simloss Waylays round 3 if he has them. And he might be playing the Feign Death still. I guess we play the frigate. Maybe we should play PFIs. It's not a very big commit to throw that down. But I think frigate's the card we want. If this keeps going, we can spawn more soldiers. We can get its crew set up with the PFIs next turn. Is he leaving the game? I want to do transform. I don't even think you're losing that much, Mr. Elf Swarm guy. You've got Isengrim and Vernalciel still. Maybe he thinks he's losing. I think he's okay. Obviously, we're pushing him pretty hard, but we're using up so many provisions to do it. And he hasn't played Simloss, or Waylay, or Scenario. Maybe he didn't draw his Vanadine. Not sure. Is he just going to leave the game? Wow. All right. Next game then. What do we have here? Okay. So, Pincer maneuver makes me suspicious. It just makes me suspicious. There's 2 reasons this could be. One is it's for consistency and you're playing a siege deck. You want to draw siege without having to run a bunch of consistency cards. The other thing is what you usually see this in is some kind of patience deck with Leticia, or meditating mages. You see this in meditating mages all the time because they need their combo with Tisea. Haven't seen meditating mages often though. Haven't seen them in a while. And then use it on Leticia for like Archgriffin and stuff like that, where you get Leticia and your defender to make sure you have that set up. Then you try and just do your combo and ignore the opponent completely. But you can also just do it for consistency. Like maybe he wants to draw Siege, maybe he wants to draw Henselt. We wouldn't blame him for doing that. But Northern Realms is already so consistent, I don't know if you need it. Which makes me suspicious about what he's doing. And the thing is, if he just goes Leticia and puts this on it, we didn't draw our punish, right? We have Land of 1,000 Fables and we have Heatwave. And if he does go for that, we actually can't Heatwave it. And that's really sad. Because if he did do that, the punish would be so hard. It'd be really funny. Okay, looks like he's not going to. Probably just Siege, and he wants to draw the Siege is my guess. Interesting either way. This is going to be a Siege Mirror. Then we have to be a little careful how we use our cards. Obviously, Foltest Pride's pretty good here. But we don't have the crew. And he does have double damage. Like, if he has a single Warfare card in his hand, even if it's just Winch, he's got access to 5 damage. Or 4 damage. So we'll just throw it on Odra, and he should be out of range unless he plays a Boiling Oil. Then we play Foltest Pride, and maybe we kill one of these Siege Masters. That'd be nice. Oh, King Belohun. Okay, that's probably what it is. He wants to draw Belohun round 1. Now, we can't actually kill Belohun, which is potentially an issue, as we don't have that one Boiling Oil. Like I mentioned, we usually run one Boiling Oil in these Siege decks for John to pull out, but we cut that for Heatwave with Land of 1,000 Fables. Heatwave's obviously better control, but we don't have the Boiling Oil. It's hard to find room if we already have 4 or 5 precision units. Okay, is he going to Boiling Oil our Foltest Pride? Yeah, he is. Okay. That's not great. Let's go Caro Ballista. We'll get the armor from its crew ability, and then maybe we go Henselt. No, we need to set up for this. No, we need to set up Rafard's Vengeance here. Where's the siege support? Let's just throw this down. We'll boost this guy. Rafard's Vengeance is the play here. That's what you should be doing. Let's see if he passes. If not, we can go for the win on even round 1. Guy's taking a long time with his turns. Must be thinking about what to do. I think it's here neither of us have duels, so it's actually pretty hard for us to remove each other's engines. So setting up the engines first is a big deal. Yeah, he's going to lock it. He knows what we're doing. So no Rafard's Vengeance. He's played, what, 1 Boiling Oil so far? No duels. Okay, let's just play the second Caro Ballista. We'll just try and, like, pressure him with bronzes here. Kind of like what he's doing to us. King Belohun will give him value, though. Boiling Oil. I didn't think he had 2. If I thought about it and realized he had 2, we could have put that next to the Siege support to get the Purify to work to our advantage. But I really thought he'd only have 1 of those in his hand. We're down 11. That's not terrible. We can go Frigate. It does get the ability here. He'll get a couple points a turn from Belohun. But I'm not overly concerned. He only has 1 Reinforced Ballista for engine value right now and King Belohun. That's not too scary. We got Frigate. Then guess we can just go John. Throw out a Winch. Boost up Odrin. Make sure he lives, and we'll just trigger this again. Okay, he's gonna hit the armor. He has no boiling oils left. Honestly, there's that. So there's a bunch of points from Belohun. 12's a fair bit of value he's got over us here, and I'm not sure how many more cards I want to play. Besides own Carrick Frigate. 14 is a lot. But I think we can keep going. We do have access to a bunch of value from Leader, and we can go into Henselt onto Frigate if we need to. But for now, I think we put him here. We get the cooldown reduction abilities. I think this is worth it. I think it is. And we go with the Caro Ballista, put that next to him. And let's see what he does. We really want to win the round. Because if he has the Pincer Maneuver Leader ability, his actual value of his cards might be worse than ours. Because he's not going to have a lot of points from his Leader ability. Oh. Of course the 3 hits that. And of course the 2 hits this. What else would it do? Alright, we're done with the round. Did not expect a Philippa Blind Fury coming in here. But that'll finish this off. He killed Henselt with it. See, he didn't have any duels, and he used both boiling oil, so I was pretty sure Henselt was safe. But then he just killed it. And then the 3 hit the guy next to it and killed that too. Fantastic. He gets the round now. Let's see. What do we do? I guess we have to wait to see what he does. I do want Land of 1,000 Fables, because I want to do a transform with it. Oh, there we go. Perfect. And here's the thing. If he's playing Siege, we have Land of 1,000 Fables into Heatwave to remove his Siege, and I think that's just a win in whatever round we do it in. There's no way he's also playing Heatwave. This is not a Siege, not a card Siege runs. It's under any normal circumstance, it's not. I wonder what he's thinking here. Other than the fact that he thinks this long on every turn, and it's really annoying. This is going to be a 20-minute game if he keeps this up. Play this, doesn't matter if we use the order or not. I guess we've been thinking too. So I'm pretty sure Heatwave's our only special card left in our deck at this point. Okay, that's not bad. So we have to be careful. We want a Heatwave before these Siege Masters come out. Actually, we can put Winch back, and then we'll have a Winch too. That's better. Yeah, if there's 2 specials in our deck, we can pretty safely have these Siege Masters come out. We're not going to draw 2 in a row. Not with 7 cards in our deck. The math on that's very, very unlikely. Just go Siege. Again, we play it melee so that we don't have a non-unit in our range row if we want to go for stockpile spam. Just wait for his Siege, which I'm sure will be coming here. I'm pretty sure it's a Siege deck. And he can draw whatever he wants with his Leader ability, so if it's a Siege deck, he will have the Siege. Then we Thousand Fables, Heatwave it. He'll never see that coming. And then we transform our Amphibious Assault into Draug or Henselt, and we use that to carry the round, and that should be pretty good. Pretty good. I'm actually really excited for this. Again, though, can you please hurry up? I was kidding about it being a 20-minute game, but I think it actually might be at this rate. Okay, there's a bombardment. That's fine. So he's played Bombardment, Double Boiling Oil, and Philippa Blind Fury. I think we can just raw play Rafard's Vengeance. Because if he has another card, it's probably Bombardment for removal. He has no setup. Do we just play the Siege Support anyway? Like, it's safer, but we lose a point of value. And then we're running out of cards that we can actually play with Rafard's Vengeance from our hand. We do have that Winch still in our deck. Because we're going to pull both Siege Masters out with PFI and Siege Support. If we play Winch, we don't get the Rafar's Vengeance ability twice if we open with the Siege support. That's the thing. Right, because we Winch it, we can use it twice this round. I think we just raw play this. He played Philippa Blindviri in both Boiling Oils. He can't kill this. And then come out on the right. Gotta learn from your mistakes, guys. Okay, we drew the Heatwave. But we can still go Thousand Fables into Winch next turn, which will actually be really good, because we can full reset Rafar's Vengeance with these two Siege Masters and just do it again. Let's see if he has his Heat or his Siege. We go Thousand Fables next turn. My goodness, can you... You know, the reason I have such a dislike for people who time their turns out is not because of Gwent. It's because of Elder Scrolls Legends. If you guys have ever played Elder Scrolls Legends, the turn timeout is like 3 or 4 minutes. And then if they time out... You know in Gwent, if your opponent times out a whole bunch of times, the timer speeds up? Yeah, well, you see in Elder Scrolls Legends, there's a mechanic called Prophecy. And... Each player has 5 runes, each are set at a certain amount of your health. Kind of like Hearthstone, you get like 30 health, and when you like take 5 damage, it triggers a rune. When the rune's triggered, you draw a card, and if it has the prophecy keyword, you can play it for free. It's a comeback mechanic they put in there. That's actually very interesting. I quite like that game. I think we'll make another video on it soon. But the reason I hate turn timeout is because when the opponent times out their turns, right? They like AFK, and then you attack them, and it triggers a prophecy card. You have to wait again during your turn while they AFK out, because the turn timer just goes again while they have the turn opportunity to play the prophecy card. And you just have to wait so long. You have to wait like legitimately, I think like 10 minutes. Like close to 10 minutes if the opponent AFKs in Elder Scrolls Legends to win the game. And it's really stupid. However, here, that's not the case. That's just why I dislike the turn timeout so much. Here, though, we were trying to figure out how the best way to do this. I was trying to figure out if we want to go with the battering ram, if we need the battering ram damage, or if we just went with what we did. And what we did was the best thing. Pretty sure. Okay, you have to have a siege if you're going to play it. I'm imagining this has to be a siege deck. Not that I'm saying this guy's overly timing out his turns. He probably has a lot to think about, but if you've ever run into somebody who times out every turn, that's what I'm talking about. Who just does that, and it's so annoying. Like, if I see that in Elder Scrolls Legends, because the turn timeout's long, I just quit. I'm not going to sit there for 30 or 40 minutes while I time out every turn. Okay, well, I guess we have to Heatwave the defender, then. We could hit this and start pinging it, but we don't really have time to do that damage. So I think we just Heatwave it, and then go for the Thousand Fables transform. There's no reason to hold off on doing this. Let's see what we get. Henselt. Henselt's good. Kind of want a Draug, because we have PFI. We could get a whole bunch of the little guys, but we'll go with the Henselt. Transforming to Henselt's nice. 2 Henselts is definitely not bad. Although with Draug, we could have gotten 7 Revenants, I think. 6 or 7 Revenants, and that would have been really cool. But yeah, he's not going to expect the second... Well, now he's going to expect the second Henselt, but... A second Henselt in Siege is crazy. So, glad we have it. So, I'm going to draw here. I did check we have crew cards, by the way, before we did this. I don't think I said it. But here we go. Second Henselt. This is something he's not going to expect. But when he sees it, he'll know, Land of 1,000 Fables. Is it just a meme? Yeah, kind of is, but this is still pretty good. Not gonna lie, 2 Henselts is pretty good. If we got a Draug, it would have been even better, because we have 2 PFIs in our hand. We've had so many Revenants. But as it is, we're just gonna overwhelm him with Henselt. And second Henselt, I don't think he can come back from this. Look at the point differential, and Henselt's just gonna get even more as time goes on. There's his Siege. Sadly, we had to Heatwave his defender. And he doesn't get punished for us running Heatwave in a Siege deck, but it is what it is. We still have a ton of value here. We do have one guy in our deck. Okay, so we're going to get that out with our... what's it called? Our Rafard's Vengeance can go again. We're going to Overswarm. So we're just going to have to like play a bunch of cards, and then that'll be it. But the thing is, if we Overswarm, he's going to play a Bombardment, and this Trebuchet is going to keep pinging. So we probably, well, we almost certainly lose at least one guy in the range row. Gives us a bit of space, and come on, we're up by like 50, 40 points. So I'm not too concerned. We'll do the Rafard's Vengeance now. Get that second, or that Siege Tower out. And we'll play it. Trigger its ability. Kind of sad we can't put next to Henselt, but whatever. And then we play this Ballista. And our rows are full. Our rows are full. We have a second Henselt out. We have Rafard's Vengeance. And we're up by 51 points. That is not something he can overcome. I think if we just pass, we win. But we'll keep playing anyway, just because, you know. He does have a triggered Siege, but I think 51 he can't do. And our deck is empty, by the way, so we played every card in it. And again, even if he can get this 51 points he needs, 52 points, he's going to kill something in our range here with Bombardment. I mean, there's a Fultus Pride, right? Smart of him to try not to kill our units. He did hit one there with that Trebuchet. I was fine just discarding, by the way, with the PFIs. They're only worth 3 points, so it's not a big deal. We'll get 2 damage here from this, though. Let's see what he does. Alright, come on. There's not that many choices left now. You don't have to time out your turns anymore. You have 2 cards. Okay. There's Baron. Bloody Baron. And I think we just discard this PFI. I still don't care that we're discarding it. We'll fire a couple pings here. Denying him the Inspired effect is meaningless, but we'll do it anyway. And let's see what he has here for his 41 points he needed this turn. There's no way he has it. And this is going to be a GG. Okay, you have 1 card left, man. I was being nice earlier when I was saying you weren't the one who was timing out their turns, but come on. You literally have 1 card. Can you just play it, please? This literally has been a 19-minute game. Thank you. Alright, Deadeye Ambush again. Did we win all of our games so far? Huh, I think we did. Interesting. He's going first again. Do we have a push we can do with like Fultus Pride or something? That worked out really well last time. Actually, for Rafard's Vengeance and Henselt, we could go for a push round 1 here. Might not be a bad idea. Again, if he's playing Feign Death, which is apparently not popular anymore, everyone just runs the Waylay version of this deck. The Feign Death you can Heatwave off of Thousand Fables. And it's, like I said a couple times now, they're never going to see that coming. Still, just open with this. He's going to kill this, probably. Because if he does the 3 damage elf, he can kill it, but then he doesn't get the spawn of the Deadeye. So that's fine. He does deny us engine value, but we deny him 3 points and a Deadeye. If he does it, we don't deny it. He chooses to do that. Yeah, that's what he's going to do. It's not too bad. We could go Odrin next if we want, and then go... Let's just do another one of these. Let's do this. Odrin, the thing was, we want to set up a siege support for our Rafard's Vengeance. But then we only have 1 bronze in our deck. We'll probably draw 1 off of the Rafard's Vengeance. It's not a guarantee. Erlin's going to come out here. Let's go Caro Ballista Shot. And then we'll go with the siege support. We boost here, then we'll go Rafard's Vengeance next turn. Use that to play the Siege Tower. Hopefully draw into another bronze card. If we don't draw into another bronze card, the Rafard's Vengeance is only okay. Well, I mean, it's still really good, but... There's 3 damage. He kills the Siege Support. Kinda hoping he didn't have the second one of those in his hand. But he did. It makes our Rafard's Vengeance worse. Let's go AA here. And we want to pull out our... I could go Voltus Prime. I want the second siege support, I think. And then we'll boost here. There's no way he kills this one. We get Rafar's Vengeance ability. We have a winch, so we can winch pretty quick here. And if we don't draw into a bronze unit, it's not that bad then, because this round's getting kind of short. Oh, Maxi's a low tempo card. It's definitely Waylays then. We'll go Rafar's Vengeance. I'll give it Zeal. Play this. Heatwave is not the card I wanted to draw, but it is a card we did draw. Let's boost here. And honestly, he probably has a damage card to remove our Rafar's Vengeance. If not, though, this tempo's closing in. Getting quite a bit of value. You could winch the Carol Ballista coming up soon, too. And then Thousand Fables can go into the other winch if we want to. Then we'll have it for the transform. That'd be pretty fun. Oh, what's he gonna kill? Oh, come on. One kill Rafar's Vengeance. Because I can't actually use it again. Let's go Henselt. It thins our deck, and I do want to get out, I think, the Voltus Pride we can't have the crew on, but Carrick Frigate we can get some value from for sure. Let's put it here in case he kills off one of our guys. If we go leader, we can click. Is that worth it? I think it is. So we have the 2 on Henselt for the cooldown reduction. And then this Vitality will take up 2. And he doesn't have an engine. He can't click. So we do go ahead on even if he would pass here. We can throw it on Odrin too. Oh, there's the Vigo's muzzle. Alright, that's a pretty big tempo swing from him. We can still go Odrin. I think we will. And if we do this, we can use the second leader charge here and get ahead on even again if we want. Question is, I think we do want to. Then we can spawn a guy, and we can click this for +2. Let's see what he has. I'm expecting him to pass here because if he knows we have a Rafar's Vengeance about to trigger. Okay, there's Isengrim. So he realizes we can't use it. Or he guesses. What do we do with Thousand Fables here? We go into the winch. Let's just play this winch, I guess. Let's boost here. I don't want our siege tower getting too tall. He's shown us he has non-devotion cards in his deck. Okay. We'll boost here. Then we'll Thousand Fables into our other winch. And then we can do a transform next round. This isn't going super well here. It's not going super well. But if he's playing a Feigned Death version, we have Heatwave. He has no setup for quad Waylays. Like there's no Vanadane or anything. So that's not bad. Potentially, we could go for a long round 3, or longer round 3, but I think I want to do a transform if we draw Siege. If we don't draw Siege, I don't think we keep going here. No, we don't have it. Actually, maybe we do. Because we definitely want to transform the card in our hand. Pretty sure. I think we'll do that. We'll do the transform, see what we get, and probably play the Frigate, and then we'll just go from there. Let's transform. Oh, we got Draug. Draug's neat. Let's go Frigate here. Let's see what he does here. If we can spawn some guys with this Carrick Frigate and play Draug, maybe we can take the round or force out his cards. Let's play this. I'll reduce the cooldown, get another guy. I'll play the Reinforced Ballista. Then next turn we can get 2 more soldiers and then play Draug. Here's the thing. So we have Draug and Heatwave for... Oh, this is really bad. Okay. Here's the issue. If we Heatwave, we can't use the Revenants we make from Draug. If we Draug, we can't Heatwave the scenario before he gets to activate it more. We're going to push here. I think we can... Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try and get out Vernaciel. We're trying to get out Vernaciel. We'll do the Draug transform here. Because if he sees this, he has to Vernaciel. He can't let all of these Revenants use their orders. If we put this here, we block 2 damage from the road lady. But let's just do this. We just have to hope the Vernaciel doesn't kill off a bunch of these guys. We will force out all of his leader charges in the Vernaciel, though, so I think this is definitely worth it. Alright, here comes the Vernaciel. And we just kind of hope it misses our Revenants. Just don't kill 3 Revenants. Kill like 1 or 2. Nope, he gets 3. And he gets that one. Well, the good news is it's a feigned deck death. And that forced out every leader charge and his Vernaciel from our Draug. Land of 1,000 Fables. I think that was definitely worth it. Definitely worth it here. And let's go into the end of this round 3. He's shown no Waylays and no Vanadain, so I'm guessing it's not actually a Waylay deck. At least not quad Waylay. Maybe it is just double Waylay with Simloss. Never know. And we do have Siege round 3, so I'm not super concerned here. Draug was able to force out a lot from him round 2. We have no Warfares in our deck, so that's going back in. Let's see what he has here. Vernaciel's Commando. We play Siege. Get a little bit of points here. He has Ownermancy, so there's Simloss. So it's just Simloss double Waylay. Okay. Even with Siege, though, this is really strong. Because he removed our engine. We're behind quite a bit. Let's set this up. But what does he have left for big plays? He's used Vernaciel. He's used all of his leader charges. He's used Feigned Death. He's used Isengrim. He's used Simloss and Waylays. He shouldn't have many big cards left. There she is. That's not too bad. We move this, and it does damage. The thing is, though, our problem is we don't have a good Heatwave target. Bombardment. Do this. I think he's going to take this one, unfortunately. We did see a nice Draug, though. Yeah, this is a GG. We can't even win with this Heatwave, so we'll just pass here. His card's worth more than 2 points. Okay, so it is quad Waylay. He just didn't draw his combo. Alright, GG. So there you go, guys. That was the deck. You saw how it performed. It did actually pretty well, but most of it doing well was due to the power of Siege and not 1,000 Fables and transforming Amphibious Assault. It was fun, though. What did we got a Henselt once, which was really good. We got a Draug, which forced out Vernaciel and 3 leader charges. That was nice, too. So, like, you can get value from it. It was pretty fun. But I would recommend, if you're trying to win, to not do this. But Heatwave is really interesting here. It's really sad we didn't get any punishes with it. Like, the Feigned Death guy had it the same turn we needed to use Draug. That was unfortunate. Otherwise, we could have done something there, I think. And you can punish people with Heatwave, because no one's going to expect Heatwave and 1,000 Fables from you in Siege. The Stockpile usually has trouble with immediate removal. All the Northern Realms abilities, other than Inspired Zeal, kind of do as well, because you don't have access to the duels for immediate damage. But Heatwave gives you that, and some people will not expect that, and they'll play into it and maybe get a big punish. But yeah, this is the deck. If you want to play a version like this with 1,000 Fables, I don't think PFIs really cut it. We didn't actually get any good value from them this entire game. Instead, I think you probably would want to go with these guys, the Royal Guards. The reason why is that we need a potential, I think we need our potential protection for Rafar's Vengeance. If you Royal Guards Rafar's Vengeance, it's quite good. It goes to 7 with 2 armor. That's not removable without Heatwave or something like that. And then you can also just set up to boost other stuff, and it still is a soldier. The PFI, I think, got a little too over-swarmy at times. It was an interesting card, and I'd like trying it out, but I don't think it's worth it. I'm pretty sure this is better. So we're going to make that change. And then if you look at our cards here, the issue we ran into a couple times was we didn't have a Boiling Oil for our Warfare. And I think we want to fit one in here. Here's the issue, though. Caro Ballista and Reinforced Ballista are very, very good, and they're like kind of our best siege machines a lot of the time, siege engines. And then the Siege Masters we need for thinning, and we kind of... Odrin's really strong, so like it's kind of hard to find out where to fit that boiling oil in, but I would like to fit one in. But I would recommend doing that. And the Cleric Frigates did quite well to give us a bunch of soldiers. Oh yeah, overall deck was pretty fun. If you're trying to win, I'd probably swap out Fables for like a previous version of Siege I've done. With Stockpile, there's a different options. You can just easily swap out the Fables and Heatwave for King Radovid, and then the any of the other high provision cards you want, right? And then you can put in, probably you'd put in your War Chariot and Vests are good options. You can put in the 7 slots. You could do that change, or you can go Trollolo as well as a 7. Those are good options. But yeah, this is the deck. Hope you guys enjoyed it. A lot of fun with the Thousand Fables. I thought of this when we were making the discussion video, but it turned out to work out better than I thought, which is pretty neat. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.